Hey YouTube, this is Shaker speaking here with you today, and welcome to my YouTube channel. And today I will be sharing with you 5 things I learned from Jordan Belfort. Jordan Belfort was a stockbroker popularized by the movie The Wolf of Wall Street, in which he was played by Leonardo DiCaprio. Currently, he's a sales trainer and a motivational speaker. The ideas discussed in this video were primarily extracted from his book titled Way of the Wolf, Straight Line Selling. During my undergrad, I decided I wanted to improve my communication and persuasion skills. So I started working at a retail sales store. And as a consequence, I learned to sell phones and internet plans. But most importantly, I understood the importance of developing persuasion skills. This one skill's positive impact can permeate through all aspects of your life. Being persuasive can help you get a raise, a date, or an extension on an assignment. That being said, developing your communication skills in general is a lifelong journey. Without further ado, let's start with number 5. As children, we were instructed to make a good first impression with strangers. This lesson is even more relevant in the realm of persuasion because our ability to persuade to a good degree is predicated on our ability to make a good first impression. Now, despite this fact, if we were asked to describe the characteristics of a persuasive first impression, most of us would be unable to provide a confident answer. The lack of strategic approach to a first impression may result in confusion or in the adoption of harmful habits. Jordan attempts to address this problem by introducing a 3-step guide for making a great first impression. Step 1 is to appear sharp. The individual being persuaded must believe that you can solve their problem. By appearing sharp, you indirectly communicate to the other individual that you are competent enough to solve their problem. You can appear sharp by demonstrating mental speed and agility, by showing fast decision making and a fast pace of delivery that can impress the other individual. In simpler terms, this means that when communicating, you should focus your attention on the conversation at hand. Maintain eye contact and be quick to reply to the other person. Step 2 is to appear enthusiastic. Have you ever felt inspired by an adult speaker? Probably not. Persuading someone to take action will require you to energize them. Energizing another person will require you yourself to be enthusiastic. Jordan specifies that a good first impression requires you to display bottled enthusiasm, which is similar to the enthusiasm one has when waiting to share good news with a friend. More specifically, you can show it by ensuring you are not speaking too slowly or quietly. Instead, you should sound upbeat and full of energy. Step 3 is to appear as an expert in your field. Would you let me operate on you or manage your investment portfolio? Probably not. The reason being that you would want an expert in one of those fields to do those things for you. For this reason, a key component of a good first impression is establishing yourself as an expert in your respective field. This can be done in many ways: by using technical industry words, by demonstrating a superior understanding of the subject matter, and by discussing the benefits of the product instead of its features. I felt as if this tip was specifically addressed to me. When I worked as a retail sales associate, I would blur out all the features of the product in my initial pitch. As a result, I would be short of words when faced with an objection. I would have nothing additional to offer because I had offered everything in my initial pitch. Jordan terms this strategy as front-loading. Front-loading is when all the benefits of an idea or product are included in the initial offer or pitch. It reveals all your cards in the starting and hurts your ability to deal with the objections later down the line. Now, the truth is that what people want most is to feel as if they made a well thought out decision and not just agreed to the first thing someone told them. As a result, Jordan recommends structuring your pitch the same way as houses are framed, stage by stage. In practice, the process of persuasion should progress in the form of dialogue. The dialogue consists of asking questions to gather information on your prospect and make them feel understood. The process also includes dealing with objection, but most importantly, the dialogue consists of gradually laying out your value proposition and demonstrating how the features of your idea can alleviate the other's pain. Often, showing someone the benefit of adopting your idea is not sufficient to making them act. For instance, we are well aware of many steps we can take to improve our own lives, but fail to take them. So, how can we persuade another individual to act in a certain way? If by simply telling them the benefits of our idea is not sufficient, then what is the solution? Jordan explains that there must be some urgency for us to take action. For example, suppose that you do not exercise, and one day your doctor informs you that if you don't become fit, then you only have 6 months to live. What are the odds of you beginning to exercise? Chances are very high. Advertisers are also well aware of the power of urgency, and that is why you often see them advertise limited time offers or deals at stores. In the context of verbal communication, Jordan suggests 3 tips for creating urgency. The first tip is to create verbal scarcity. For example, if you were trying to sell a pen, then you could say, "Hey, there are only 20 of these limited edition pens in the world." The second tip is to use tonal scarcity, which is essentially using a loud whisper to state your point. "Hey, there are only 20 of these limited edition pens in the world." The third and final tip is to use informational scarcity. This is when you tell the other individual that other people are not aware of the scarcity. For example, "Hey, I don't think anyone else knows this, but there are only 20 of these limited edition pens in the world." So that was the example in which I tried using all 3 forms of scarcity. When I started working in sales, I used to pitch to every person that would come in the door. And in the end, no matter how hard I tried, some customers would buy nothing. Then one day, I asked an experienced coworker how he managed to sell significantly more than me. He replied that after some time, he had started noticing the behavior of the people who were likely to buy and only pitched to them. In hindsight, this seemed like an obvious idea, but in the heat of trying to sell, I failed to notice. Jordan claims that poor sales performance can often be attributed to not qualifying our prospects. A problematic idea perpetuated in our society is the masters of persuasion can persuade anyone. This is simply not true. Online gurus try selling books and courses advertising that by buying their course you'll be able to close anyone. However, not only is this impossible, but it's also inefficient to try to do so. Master persuaders are not like alchemists who focus on turning no's into yeses. Instead, they're able to sift through the people and turns the yes into yeses and the people who are maybes into yeses. Identifying a prospect who is a strong yes is easy, but the ability to distinguish between a no and maybe can only be developed over time. Some identifiers of a maybe may be that they show more interest in your product, or they will have an articulated pain in their life that your product is fit to solve. Being persuasive requires you to display confidence in yourself and your abilities. Doing this can be difficult when we lack expertise or are new to the field. So the big question is, how much do we need to learn about a topic or subject matter to be confident in it? What amount of knowledge do we need to feel confident? How can we be persuasive when we don't feel confident? All these are valid questions. Jordan says that novices often don't brand themselves an expert in sales or act confident until they feel that they have enough knowledge. However, this lack of confidence severely hurts the individual's ability to persuade. So what is the solution to this? Should we all just pretend that we know everything and act like arrogant fools? No. The right thing to do is to brand yourself as an expert, be confident, and admit that you have shortcomings. Then over time, close down the knowledge and skill gap. This is a powerful idea because it states that expertise should not be necessary to display confidence. As long as you're not lying, so you can't be lying that you're a doctor, but you haven't gone to med school. Instead, novices should be encouraged to act confident and simultaneously work on acquiring the skills of an expert. So there we go. Those were the 5 tips on persuasion I learned from Jordan Belfort. If you're interested in more of his ideas, then check out his book called Way of the Wolf, Straight Line Selling. Additionally, if you liked the video, then please press the like button and subscribe, and comment down below what your favorite tip was. And thanks for watching.